gonna start. I have the mic, so normally you can hear me a bit better. That's gonna be good. So I'm gonna start with two positive. The first one, I really like the fact that you give space to your partner. Meaning that as soon as you see rotation, if something is happening, you're gonna kind of wait, see where your follow is going, and try to reconnect. So keep that. Try to really make sure even when you create, it's our purpose. The goal is to really bring the follower somewhere and see how my follower react, to shape it around my follower. So I really like that. And for you, I like the strength that you have in your legs. It really felt like you're using your partner, but when you have to go somewhere, you're really pushing from your base leg. So you're really strong and clean in your legs. So we need to keep that. Now, what I would like you to work on. As a leader, I need you to stay base, but I need you to build the power. It kind of feel like because the frame is sometimes disconnected from the upper body, you create your one, you go to your two, but it feels like your followers still need to create more power because there's not enough to travel down the line. So try to make sure all the connection that you're building on your anchor, I want visually to see you use it what you just created for your one and the two. We need to see the engine coming from you and the follower reacting to what you are creating. So when you just give, for example, an drop, if we do triple step, I want to make sure here on the end of my triple, I'm creating an anchor. I'm going to settle and then push on this base leg for my one and the two, three and the four. What I cannot see with you, you're going to create the anchor, but almost start disconnecting here. The one's going to float a bit in place, and the two you try to go with your partner. But so you kind of stay in place and then try to travel. So make sure you're building the power directly on the one, not on the end. Last thing, do you try to think dancing on two lines or one line? Because if you think about your feet, do you stay on two lines or one? You switch, but your base. We should all try to think about staying on one line and not two lines. Yeah, two lines is not wrong. It's just a bit more old school. When we dance two lines, we don't really have any angle, and we stay just square. As soon as I think about having one line and keeping my heels in the line, I'm going to use way more angle, so way more power with my upper body. So I'm going to be able to open, settle, and push. So try to think about keeping, you can sometimes, but the image is never heels the ball of the foot. It's going to be too hard to control. More the heels in the line. And the inside of your foot is going to drag and push. So think about keeping that. Yeah?
You're not necessarily dancing on a tightrope, right? Like if you're staying on one line and you keep your dancing like this, it might feel a little tight. That's why we utilize angles, and we're never really like moving with the foot directly in front of our bodies, but rather we're trying to make sure that we're pushing through the base leg. We have a limiter on how far we can actually extend our legs outward. So I like to think like, we talked about engaging the glutes in a way that pulls upward so that we have a limit actually physically to then extend the legs. If I release that glute, then that's when I will take a big step. And that can actually make me lose control sometimes. So if I get in this overextended position and I'm no longer mobile, I can't be flexible in this position, then I'm gonna probably lose my balance or be caught off guard in a lead, or then be able to lead my partner. So my goal is to try and keep a ring around my body where I have a very limited space. If I want to extend that space, I will plie. That's the way that we can counteract that. So usually, like as I'm moving, my limit will be here. That's how far I will take my steps, and that's like plie to extend through that. Yeah, same thing as a leader. I'm gonna take tiny little steps here. I can push from the base leg back to make sure I have distance, but notice how my body's always gonna follow right above that space and not be left behind. Yeah. If I do extend, it's because I'm plieing through that space. Yeah? So just as like a little exercise for you all to try as well, if you extend the leg, see how far you can extend it while keeping your spine aligned. Don't break the spine. Then from there, that's how you know you'll plie to be able to extend even further. Cool?
And just a little tip for you, try to think about the way you connect in your frame. So, can you come with me here? Just one underarm, let's use up on 4. 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna go on 4. What I feel with you, usually go to the hips directly. And you give a 4 connect here for a 5 and 6, but I don't feel the upper. I want to be able to shape you more. So think about sliding your upper body, finding on the 4, it's gonna be more first upper, and then settle, and a 5 and a 6. So try to always think about first connecting upper, no matter the angle, and then you bring your hips into to continue. Sounds good? Yeah. Good job.
Yeah.
All right.